Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I wanted to do my March planner update. There have been a few changes to some of the things that I'm doing. So let's get started. Let's jump right in. We're going to start with my everyday carry. So I haven't made a ton of changes, but any of the decorations you see in here are from the Cocoa Daisy planner kit that I subscribe to. So that's where all of these little cards and things have come from, and some of the pages like this that I've tucked in. I like this. Find yourself and be that. First section is still my goals, and nothing on this has changed. This is still my vision board. I still have a list of all of my goals. I am working on a lot of these actively. My health goal I'm working on. I had a little bit of a backtrack when I went on vacation, but that's kind of what vacations are for, right? I just actually started the discernment period for the Daughters of the King today. It's going to be an interesting time period, but I'm looking forward to it because it's a lot of contemplation about what your faith is and what it means to you and that sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to that. I am still working on the onboarding process. I'm obviously still actively working on my YouTube channel. The kitchen renovation is not happening right now. I'm also not working on the communication goal. I am working on the surface clutter goal. And as I mentioned in my last video, just by writing down this goal about DJing at least once a month, I've actually had quite a few offers from some new places. So that is also definitely happening. I do still have some of my goals broken down. That has not changed. So, and then blank pages, then I have my routine section. I did have some requests to post copies of this a little closer up so people could read them and look at them, so I will be posting those on Instagram within the next couple of days. So my Instagram channel is linked down below, so if you're interested in having an actual photo of it so you can take a closer look and see what these say, that will be available within the next couple of days. So these also have not changed. These are all just my checklists for review time periods, tasks I don't want to forget that are periodic, that sort of thing. I have my resetting at work list. The checklist I was working on the last time that was basically resetting at home after vacation is now in my travel inserts. I will show that to you toward the end because it's all the way in the back. I have my zones checklist, which are my modified Fly Lady zones. And then I have my calendar. So holidays hasn't changed. This I've not kept up with. This was kind of my year in pixels. It seemed like a good idea. To be honest, I'm busy living life. I'll probably go back in and fill that out later. This was just me keeping track of travel schedules, whether it was mine, personal travel for me, work travel for me, and then my mom's travel. So today is the 28th. It's the last day of the month. As you can see, I was gone most of this month, and so tomorrow is March 1st. So this is the month that I will do a quarterly review at the end of the month, probably somewhere around the 24th, 25th. I have this sticky note here so I remember to schedule it. I mentioned the discernment period for Daughters of the King. That actually added a bunch, actually it's every other week approximately. That added a bunch of appointments to my calendar. Other than that, yeah, things are just normal and somewhat busy. So my tracker I don't think has changed too much. The last month I had added in whether or not I was getting sleep, whether or not I was waking up at 6:30. The rest of these have not changed. Just keeping track of the eye meds for my dog, whether or not I'm journaling. My morning routine, which is essentially workout, quiet time, and then making bed. The evening routine, which sometimes I do some of these in the morning. Putting away leftovers, wiping counters, checking floors, washing dishes. Resetting the dishwasher, which just basically means that if it's clean, empty it, and then put the dishes back in, working to clear the clutter or choosing a household task, reviewing the next day, putting out the workout clothes since I work out first thing in the morning, and then these two, the sleep goals, and then whether or not I'm tracking meals and whether I had a cheat meal that day. Part of my health goals is the number of cheat meals per week, so that's why that is there. So weekly inserts have not changed. I still have a tip-in that has a menu on one side and a grocery list on the other. It's essentially just personal size sheets of paper. I just left a very large margin so that I could glue it down and fold it over. So that's what the tip-ins look like. But as you can see, it's essentially a normal size piece. Inserts I just printed. I didn't change anything. I have these filled in InDesign from an Excel spreadsheet, so I still have the day of the week, the date, the Christian season that we're in, which right now we're in Lent and will be for the entire month of March. Kind of the theme based on the God and Glam / Living the Christian Year Bible study that I'm working through, and then the passage that I'm reading for the day. So you'll notice that this does start on March 5th. That's because I have the March 1st in with this week. And you'll notice that I did change this slightly. I am writing in home, and then instead of work here, I'm writing YouTube down toward the bottom. Still have my workouts here, any appointments that I have going on. This was a sticky note that I wrote several days ago, and I just transferred it forward because I wasn't getting things done. I actually did get a few things done today. It was actually the first day that I felt like I could function. Didn't get everything done, but I got a few things done. So that is the week. Like I said, that really hasn't changed very much. I'm still using it the same way I have been. I really like these inserts, and I'm recording what I actually ate down here as opposed to the beginning of the week, which is just a plan of approximately when I think we'll have certain meals. Because if we look at this week, I had a pork roast, easy pork loin chops, spaghetti, and leftovers. We had leftover soup on Monday. Tuesday was out, just because I was dancing last night. Tonight we actually had the pork loin chops. And tomorrow we'll see. It'll either be spaghetti or pork roast. We'll see what happens. All right, so back to March. Like I said, no difference, so we'll skip through to the next section. I think I've also mentioned before at the very end here, my original monthly inserts actually only went through June, so I had a page where I could write down kind of future planning sorts of things, and then I have a page for 2019. Another change. I actually made my own monthly inserts. Again, I used the merge function in InDesign, so I have an Excel spreadsheet that literally has all the months. It has the days of the week going all the way across, so then I can fill those in on each day. So I just adjust what day the first starts on based on where the first of the month appears. So in this instance, the first would be on Saturday 1, and then down here where we have a little bit of overlap, I have a Monday and Tuesday 6, like week 6. So that's how I got that to do that. And essentially it's just a text box all the way across the top. And then down here at the bottom, I have two text boxes, one at the bottom, one at the top. So that's how I worked that. Because I'm still toying with the idea of potentially selling inserts, wanted to create my own and play with them a little bit and have them how I want them to be. And that way they're kind of ready to go if I decide to do that. On the back, I did put a grid with a monthly index so that I can make notes as far as what's happened that month, if there's anything I want to keep track of. Don't know. So say for example in February I didn't have that. These were the previous inserts I was using from Printable Pineapple. It did have the little calendars, I liked that, but not enough to try and put those on my own inserts. It was okay. So the monthly index is just where I keep track of major things that happened that month. Moving out of the calendar section, just have some sticky notes in case I need them, my to-do section, which has not changed. I still am using the modified strike-through method, so this is my personal list, my house list. I have blank pages, still have stuff I need to pull out. I was practicing lettering while I was on vacation, so that's why that's backwards and upside down. And I have my house list as far as, or home list as far as the project to finish the kitchen remodel. And then my YouTube list. So those are all of my to-do lists. I have my YouTube section where I had some ideas. Most of these I've actually filmed already. And then I have these inserts. Again, these are ones that I created so I can jot notes about what I want to say and information about videos I'm recording. My list section, I have books to read, more things. These keep track of future releases, things I want to watch. I have a monthly budget. So this is what the monthly budget looks like. Again, this is another insert I created just based on what I needed. I had an insert from Printable Pineapple, but it just wasn't working for me. So essentially I have a column for pay period 1 and a column for pay period 2. Because we get paid every other week. So 2 months out of the year, we actually get 3 pay periods, but for me, I don't actually plan to spend that money. That's money I set aside in savings or if I'm paying something off. So I divide up how much money I want to put aside in each one of these, and then if I have money left over, I make a note at the bottom because I plan for savings. So the money left over each month is money that I either put towards savings or pay off an expense with if I've overspent. So these are my travel inserts that I was telling you about that I put together. So again, still playing with these. I kind of liked having the grid behind it, but it makes it a little busy, so I may take that off. I haven't decided yet. So I have a spot to write the destination, day I'm departing, day I'm returning, check boxes, domestic, international, business or personal, and then I have check boxes so I can make a note if I'm going to be doing something with the beach or pool, hiking, formal, other. I have, again, check boxes with transportation to the airport, so whether I'm self-parking, taking a taxi or an Uber, or taking a shuttle. When I get there, am I taking a taxi or public transportation, a rental car, or my own car? And then I have a spot for reservation information for most of those. So rental car, if I'm making a parking or shuttle reservation. And then I have a little bit of blank space, and I got to thinking a lot of times when I travel, I'm going to meetings or conventions, and I also am leaving early and or late. So I have a place where I can make a note of the actual meeting or convention days and then where they're located. So here I have flight information. So we have 4 flight legs. Hopefully. You don't need more than that. A spot for confirmation number, the airline flight number. It's small, but usually it's an abbreviation. So SWA for Southwest Airlines, 917 for the flight number. Shouldn't need a lot of room for that. I have a spot for the time that it departs, the time that it arrives, and whether or not you're going through customs on this leg of the flight. So if you're going through customs when you arrive, you can check the box, or depart, you can check the box. And I think I mentioned in my last video the reason for having those is so I can pay attention to when I've booked a flight, make sure I have enough time to go through customs. Usually you need 2 to 3 hours of a layover if you're going through customs and then continuing on someplace else. So that did present an issue for us when we were in New Zealand, so I thought that was important information. So this is my packing list. I did manage to get everything that I could think of on one page, but I put a grid on the other side, so if there was something I forgot or I don't normally need but need for that trip, I have extra space. So I have a section for basics, and it's 2 columns. I have a section for casual, I have a section for business, for formal, and for international. And you'll notice I have these little lines here. This is so I can indicate how many outfits of that type I need. So if I'm on a 5-day trip, it's a personal trip, nothing going on, I would probably need 5 casual outfits. I usually plan an extra just in case, so I would put 6. Same thing with business. Say for example, I'm on a 5-day trip, 3 of them have business meetings. I would potentially need still 5 casual outfits because sometimes I forget to bring those and then I have nothing to wear at night when I really don't want to be dressed up. So, maybe 4 casual outfits and 3 business outfits. So just that sort of thing. So that gives me an idea of what I need to pack, and it gives me a checklist, things to look through, and I put lines in between like general divisions. So we have, travel confirmations, wallet, cash, credit cards, that kind of goes together. Then we have like underwear, socks, sleepwear, jewelry, sunglasses, exercise clothing. So this is kind of clothing related items. Then we have electronics. Then here is pretty much all toiletries from there to the end of that. Then here under casual, I have normal casual things, but then I also have a hiking section. Business is pretty much just all business stuff. Same thing with the formal wear. And then international is those few things that I usually would only need on an international trip. Okay, so this next section is the pre-trip checklist. So these are things that I usually do before we leave. Some of these only apply to me. I actually have 2 different versions because I made my mom a set of these and I took off the things that don't apply to her. So she doesn't have a truck to move into her driveway and she doesn't have a YouTube channel. So these are 2 things that just apply to me. But I have notes about making reservations, checking the passport to make sure A, it doesn't expire, B, you have enough pages, because yes, that is a thing. Checking to make sure you have the visas that you need. We have pets, so booking a pet sitter. Checking and refilling travel toiletries, because I use the travel size bottles of shampoo and conditioner, and so I usually refill those. Packing, cleaning the house, making sure I have books to read, making sure our prescriptions are filled, making sure I wash the dishes and run the dishwasher before we leave. Empty the fridge so we don't come back to stinky food, and after you empty the fridge, taking out the trash. Setting our water heater to vacation mode, adjusting our thermostat, and then we use our truck parked on the street. We pull it into our driveway just to get it off the street, and then I want to make sure that I have things pre-filmed if I need to. Then these next pages are all the same. These are kind of all of my daily pages. So each date has half of a page. So you have the date this applies to, what the weather's going to be, where you're going to be staying, the confirmation number, address, phone number, any meetings, appointments, or tours you have scheduled for that day, and then a note about how many outfits you need, with the thought that you can flip through and be like, oh, I need 3 business outfits. Then you can come back to your packing list and make a note, I need 3 business outfits. So that way you can look at the list and be like, okay, well, I want to take 1 skirt, 2 pairs of slacks, or a pair of slacks, a skirt, and a dress. And then you can kind of figure out what it is you want to take with you. So on the right side here, I did make a note. I did make a place for people to record expenses. Usually if I'm traveling, the only thing I would potentially make a note for reimbursement would be transportation and food. So if I've taken a taxi, and then if I've, bought a meal or something for myself, those I will usually write in. But just in case, I have the hotel rate, the transportation, food cost, other, whatever that might be, and then total, so you can keep track of your expenses. I do have this last page here, which is also expenses. So you can either make more detailed notes and use this only, or you can maybe use this to add up this information here. And then this was a checklist that I was working on in my last video about kind of resetting after a vacation. So this is where that checklist ended up. So making sure we readjust the thermostat, so whether it's warmer or cooler, putting the water heater back to normal so we have hot water, always good. Unpacking the car and suitcases, starting laundry, and then this is kind of my reset for planning. So adding appointments and workouts to the daily pages, recurring tasks, doing some meal planning, checking the mail for bills and looking for any to-dos, checking my email, looking for to-dos, checking my momentum planner for to-do lists and adding those to the dailies, and then going grocery shopping. So doing these things kind of resets me back into my normal life routine. So that is my travel expenses. And I did, as I mentioned previously, I do have a Etsy store. It has nothing in it. It's been there for several years now, actually, because I was toying with the idea of selling patterns. So I'm thinking I may upload some of my inserts if people are interested in purchasing them. Would just be a PDF to download. Probably for now they would just be personal size because that's what I use. I would probably eventually try and get them into a couple different sizes. The travel plans will probably upscale easily, but I don't know that they would go into Pocket very easy. The packing list would be like multiple pages long, so we'll see how that happens. And in the back, I do still have pet information, which still has not been filled out. I haven't been home. We'll just make that my excuse. And then in the back, I just have a couple of cards, gift cards, extra sticky notes and places to have things. And I've gone through all this before. It's just random bits of paper, blank paper, notes I've kept, that sort of thing. So that is my everyday carry and where it stands right now. And I usually do get asked, yes, I am still using my wallet, but because I have so much stuff in here, this is actually very full. The wallet, if I put it in there, the planner will not close, but I definitely use it as my regular everyday wallet. It just sits out to the side. So that is my everyday carry. So the next thing I want to update you on is my work planner. This is my bullet journal that I've been keeping. I love this. This is working out perfectly. So let me show you. So this is March here. And again, all of the decoration is from the Cocoa Daisy kit, including this tab. I went ahead and used blue instead of gray. I used gray last month. I've highlighted spans of time and made reference down here. This looks a lot like what's in my everyday carry, but this is all work-related items and a few things that might affect what I'm doing that day, whether I'm staying late or not. And this is the thing that I'm most excited about. So if you've watched any of my videos, you remember me talking about the Momentum Planner. This is the monthly sheet. And to be perfectly honest, I hate having to drag this out. It's a letter-sized sheet of paper. The thing that it's in is Martha Stewart disc-bound notebook, and it's very heavy and kind of awkward. And these don't turn very well. It's, kind of a hot mess, and I really would like to be able to reference this more often. So what I did was I actually transferred the important stuff that I liked on here into my bullet journal so that I can reference it whenever I want. So I transferred the quarterly objectives over. The monthly objectives, I just called it March objectives. The emergent projects are still here. I don't need the scheduled events because I have this page. So they're already here. And then I have each of the weeks, so you can see, and I have gone ahead and scheduled out the things that I want to work out each week. So I'm super excited to use this. It means that I'll have ready access and I don't have to drag this planner with me back and forth because it's very heavy. So the other thing I did is I went ahead and started to fill out the onboarding project. So I've gone ahead and written down the different portions of the onboarding project. So I had divided it up by the different sections of hiring, and then underneath that, the different things that I needed to be working on, reviewing, and making sure we're up to date. Just quickly as a flip through, for those who haven't seen my work bullet journal, I have a key in the front. This list key pertains to the to-do lists that I keep in the back, which these are a modified strike-through method, which basically involves referencing the page number, a dot, and then the task number when you want to bring a task forward to your daily page. I have an index, which I need to go through and update. Again, these are all of the strike-through lists here in the back. Title page, future log for further out, the annual strategy, which I still haven't filled things in. I still have things written in pencil, stuff that's probably going to change, but this kind of gives me an overall idea of what my year is looking like so far. My onboarding project. This is February. Because I created this earlier this week, and I really wanted to use one of these breakdowns, but I didn't have enough room. I'd already divided it up, so I actually just washi taped in a piece of paper and just put the same information. So this is what I'm wanting to get accomplished this week. And actually, we're getting ready to post a different job ad, so because it's been so long since I worked on our interview guides, I don't remember where I left off, so I want to just double check and make sure that I have one for a leasing agent. So this is what my bullet journal looks like. So when we start March 5th, I will actually start planning here. I left just enough room. This is the to-do list for tomorrow. I actually didn't get those two things done, so I'll just work on those probably tomorrow morning, because I have my first meeting at noon, but it doesn't make sense to drive all the way down to San Diego and then all the way back, so I will start working there. And then I have quite a few things I need to get done tomorrow. So I'll have room for March 2nd, which will be Friday, and then I will start here for March 5th. So that is my work bullet journal. And then I made a change. I know I said for my editorial calendar, I was just going to keep using the vertical one that I had bought, my Erin Condren, and next year I'm going to switch to the deluxe monthly planner. Well, okay, so Erin Condren was having a sale, and these were 30% off. So I decided to just go ahead and make the switch. So this actually is very similar to how I had it set up before. I actually just went ahead and went back to January and February and wrote in the videos that I had scheduled and uploaded already. We are into March, and I decided to just go ahead and use this as a tracker for when I posted to Instagram. I figured it would be something I would try. Then again, I have a tracker here. I just had extra stickers. I thought, why not? I'll stick them there. But I'm still using the tracker. This page just looks different because it doesn't have the circles at the top, but that's fine. I didn't necessarily need that. And this is just a sticker that I stuck down. So the way that the Deluxe Monthly Planner works is you have a page for notes or whatever you want to put here. You have the intro page with the quote for the month. You have a 2-page monthly spread, and then you have 2 pages of notes. So you'll see that I have this Erin Condren bookmark upside down, so that way I know this is the month, and then this is that kind of monthly planning. So I put to do up here, so this is where I'll keep track of probably videos I need to record and edit. And then here I can make individual notes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. So I may do this for a week, so it starts to look like my work bullet journal, where it's, the planning for that week. I haven't decided yet. March starts tomorrow, and so we'll see kind of where this goes. But I know I did not need a weekly spread. I had not enough information to fill that out, so it seemed more like a waste of space. So this seems like it will be a lot more condensed and more closely resemble what it is that I actually need. So this is what I'm using for my editorial calendar. It goes through December, and then I actually had them add extra note pages so that I could actually use this for planning out videos as well if I wanted to. They have a 2019 section here in the back, so if I want to make notes about things I might want to do next year, I can do that. But otherwise, I really like this. This is the neutral version. They also have a colorful one if you prefer the colorful one, but I don't know. I just like the neutral, the more muted colors. So that is my editorial calendar. So we have editorial calendar. This usually stays at home. I don't drag it along with me. I just use it for planning purposes. my work bullet journal, which usually tends to live at work unless I'm working on stuff from home or I haven't had a chance to kind of do the daily review that I normally do, where I'm writing down kind of what's going on the next day, so appointments, tasks, that sort of thing. And then I have my everyday carry, which pretty much goes with me everywhere, and it's definitely quite a beast, but I still love this planner. Every once in a while people ask me, how do you like your planner? Do you still like it? If you're not familiar with any of my past videos, this is actually a custom Vanderspec planner, the Tortora Croco on the outside, and this is a Barbie Napa on the inside. I don't know, I love the combination. It's feminine, but it's also professional, and yeah, it's my favorite still. So I hope that was helpful, getting a sneak peek of what my planning looks like this month. I think the changes are starting to slow down. I'm finding my groove, the things that work for me. I have a few videos coming up because I've had some people ask questions. I am probably going to do a short video on why I do multiple planners, why I don't just put it all in here. Somebody asked about a work weekly review. So now that I've figured out how to get the momentum planner pages in here, that might actually be something that is a something. Up until now, it's pretty much just okay, so tomorrow's what day and what appointments do I have and how much time do I have left over? So I'll actually talk a little bit about what I'm doing with that. And I'm working a little bit on work project planning, trying to figure out how I want to track that. So once I get that figured out, I'll also be doing a video on work project planning as well. All right, I rambled on past when I thought I was going to stop. So if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.